Hello and welcome back. This is Joe from Home Studio Corner. And yesterday you got to go on a tour of my home studio. And today is part two. So yesterday you got to see everything in the room, all the physical components. And today I want to show you what software I use, plugins specifically. And a lot of you have asked via the Ask Joe forums on the website, things like that, wanting to know what I use inside of Pro Tools when I do recording and mixing and all that fun stuff. So let's dive in and take a look. We'll go over into Pro Tools here. And the first thing I'm going to show you is what EQs that I use, kind of my go-to EQ plugins. And these are them. First off, there's the stock Digi EQ that comes with Pro Tools. And you're going to hear a lot of people give this a lot of flack. Oh, it doesn't sound good. It's garbage. You know, that is insane. It's not a bad plugin at all. You can get a good mix with just the basic plugin that comes with Pro Tools. Now, are there better EQs that will give you a better sound? Sure. Is it impossible to get a good sound out of these? Absolutely not. The other EQ plugins that I like, really like the Q10 plugin from Waves. This gives you 10 bands of EQ, and as you can see here, you can get really specific and surgical with these bands. I use this for mastering and also just for a good clean EQ on my tracks. Up here is the Renaissance EQ, and both of these come with the Waves Gold bundle, which I have. This is a cool EQ. It's got a more vintage, kind of a warm sound to it. So if you were to use this next to the exact same settings on this EQ and this EQ, this one's going to sound cleaner. This one's going to have a little more warmth to it. So that's kind of the main differences there. Love this EQ. Very cool. This is probably my favorite EQ. This is the SSL EQ. So this is just basically a model of an SSL console. So pretty much can't make it sound bad. Anything you boost or cut just sounds good. So it's a joy to work with. I really do enjoy using the SSL stuff. Let's see. Speaking of SSL, here's a couple channel strips that you get. I've got the SSL bundle from Waves, which gives you these two channel strips, that EQ that you just saw, and then a compressor I'm going to show you in a second. But this channel strip is actually pretty cool because what you get with it is an entire EQ, and you can get a lot. I mean, you can boost and cut this thing by something ridiculous like 15 dB, I believe. And then you also have a dynamic section, which is your compressor and also a gate. And then on top of that, you've got, well, basically it's just all in one strip. So your EQ goes to the compressor, goes to the gate. Good sounding deal, and they give you two versions, one a G channel and an E channel, which are just basically modeled after different consoles that SSL makes that have different sounds. So you play around with those and get some good sounds out of it. Let's see, for compressors. Again, back with the stock Digi stuff. This is a good compressor. This is the one that comes with Pro Tools. I actually do my intro to compression video is done using this compressor because it's laid out very well. All the knobs are clearly labeled, and it allows you to learn compression really well. So I would definitely recommend using that. You can get good sounds out of it. A couple of my more preferred compressors would be this one from Waves. This is their C1, kind of a counterpart to that Q10 EQ that I showed you a second ago. A nice clean compressor, has a lot of detail here. You can change all of these settings to get the exact sound that you want out of the compressor. Over here, this is one of my favorite compressors that Waves makes. This is their it's a Renaissance compressor, or if in the plugin menu you'll see it's labeled as R comp or R compressor. What's cool about this is it doesn't work like your typical compressor. It does some things automatically for you, but as you pull down the threshold, you'll see a light that lights up here and shows how much gain reduction you're doing. So as we pull it down, you'll see I'm knocking off about 4 dB or so, and we change the ratio. Now we're knocking like 12 dB off. The makeup gain obviously lets you make up some of that gain that you lost, but what's cool about the Renaissance compressor, and okay, let's not go overboard here. What's cool about it is as you bring the gain up, it actually has a limiter on the back end, so you can't clip the output. It simply goes into limiting mode at one point and starts kind of crushing things down. Has a very kind of gritty sound if you drive it really hard, and there's lots of different settings. I really like this. It also has an expander, which is kind of neat. So if you need to add more dynamic range to something, you just put the ratio up, and anything that crosses the threshold actually gets turned up in volume, which is a neat trick for another day, actually. Over here is probably my favorite compressor. of all time. This is the SSL bus compressor. This is great, as the name indicates, as a bus compressor on your mix bus or on a drum bus or things like that. It just sounds good. You can knock off 4 to 8, even 12 dB, and it still sounds great. It has a lot of punch. It doesn't kill your dynamics. It just tightens things up, and really, 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 really good compressor. That alone is worth the price of the SSL bundle from Waves. So, and they did not pay me to say that. It's just good. I really do like it. And I guess the last thing we'll talk about is reverbs. Over here, the stock reverb that comes with Pro Tools now is this Air reverb, developed by their Air division. It's a good reverb. It's a little bright for my taste, but you can dial that back. And it's a nice stock reverb to open up to when you're recording vocals, and you can even use it in a mix. It's not bad at all. Other ones I use that came with the Waves Gold bundle. You've got these three. There's the True Verb, and also the Renaissance Reverberator, and also this IR L, which this is a convolution reverb, this one here, which basically means they went out and sampled a room and turned that into a reverb. So it sounds like this concert hall here. True Verb and R Verb, they're just different. They have different sounds to them, different presets, different things you can adjust. They're not as easy to pull up and just have a good sound. You've got to tweak it a little bit to get the sound that you want. But as you can see, there's a lot of tweaking you can do as far as the pre-delay, the decay of the reverb, all these different things. So if you like to tweak reverbs, then they're definitely good for that. The only other thing to show you would be, I guess, virtual instruments, which I won't go into each one of those in detail, but I will show them to you here. I've got the big part of it is the Native Instruments Complete bundle, Complete 5, and so that's somewhere around 13 different virtual instruments. So things like Contact 3, Pro 53, which is a synth, B4, which is a great organ B3 module. I use that quite a bit, and that with Contact with a couple of their just string samples and things. Acoustic piano is a very good piano virtual instrument. And as always, you've seen several videos I've done on Easy Drummer. Great drum plugin. Electric piano, that's a part of the Complete bundle as well. It's very good. It should be noted, Easy Drummer is a separate plugin. I bought that separately. But a lot of these are a part of the Complete bundle that I have. And that's the basic gist of things. That's my home setup as far as plugins go. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what I use. You don't need thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of plugins to get good sounds. Like I said, you can use the stock stuff to come up with good mixes. But if you want to take it to a little bit of a next level and get some more tones out of your recordings, these plugins like that SSL bundle or the Waves Gold bundle, really good. So if you have any questions on these, if you're watching this on YouTube, head over to the website, homestudiocorner.com, and I'll be happy to answer those. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, I created a forum section on the website now. It's homestudiocorner.com/forums. And the membership is growing a little slowly, and we're up to about 30 or 40 now. So a good little community, great place to ask questions and interact, and feel free to join. Love to see you over there. And that's it for me today. This is my home studio part 2. Hope this was enjoyable for you. It's a lot of fun for me to do, actually. It's fun to kind of look through all the gear that you have and just kind of reminisce about it. So this has been good. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you around here soon.